Most people suck. They live their whole lives without accomplishing anything substantial or noteworthy. And at the end of their lives, they look back and see nothing but a mountain of failure and regret. Now, if you're watching this video, it's because you do not want to end up like that. You want to actually maximize your potential and live the life of your dreams. And there's 10 things you need to avoid to make sure that you don't meet the same fate as most of these other motherfuckers. Let's go. So the first thing that prevents people from accomplishing their goals is they give up way too soon. See, to accomplish anything noteworthy, you're gonna encounter a number of obstacles. And a lot of times people will let those obstacles deter them because things aren't moving fast enough. And when they see progress coming slow or not as fast as they want, they just give up, or they start something new, or they start chasing the next thing. But had they stayed persistent, more than likely, they'd accomplish their goal. Maybe it's you. I'm gonna show you how to prevent that so you can actually start making some progress. So on this line, we have results, and on this line, we have time. So mentally, we believe that results should be linear, meaning the more time you put in, you should get an equal amount of results. That's what we believe in our brains. We believe that progress will be linear. If you're trying to accomplish something really big, something noteworthy, progress will probably be exponential. What's exponential? Well, it means initially you'll see very little progress at first, maybe none. But then over time, you'll start to hit your stride, and then progress will speed up exponentially. When we are going through this area, this is the part where people begin to give up. It's the gap between the results you're getting and the results you expect when you're thinking that progress will happen linearly. If you understand that progress will be really slow during that time, but then speed up exponentially, you'll be able to stay more motivated, and it'll be easier to stick to your goals. And the beauty is the results will be actually better than you expect if you stick to it. When I first started my business, when I was a personal trainer, I didn't think that 10 years later, I'd be covered in diamonds and Gucci on a consistent basis, living in a goddamn sky palace right next to the Atlantic Ocean. I didn't think it would be that good. The next thing that's been stopping you from accomplishing your goals, you want it to be easy. People want things to be easy and simple, but it's your desire for comfort and ease that's keeping you fat and poor. What if you didn't want it to be easy? What if you didn't run from pain? What if you actually took pride in doing things that were difficult? What if you actually took pride in your ability to withstand discomfort? How would that change your perspective? If I was competing with someone, I would love it if they were always looking for the easiest path to accomplish their goals. If everything had to be comfortable, simple for them. I would love it if he was always looking for the easiest path to victory. Because there is no way a man like that can defeat me, even if he was significantly more intelligent, talented, and had more resources at his disposal. My remarkable resilience, unprecedented determination, and exceptional mental fortitude would ensure that I'd emerge victoriously as usual. I'd rejoice in eager anticipation of the moment my opponent's shattered dreams and hopes lay broken beneath my feet. Pain and discomfort are like the bouncer at the club success. But they're not checking your IDs, they're checking to see if you're soft and weak. And if you are either, you will be denied entry into club success. And the strongest among us are in the VIP section. The next thing preventing you from accomplishing your goals is trying to accomplish too much at once, having too many goals. I believe you should have one main goal. Now, obviously it's not going to be your only goal, but it's going to be the main goal you focus on. But then you'll have other goals that actually support the main goal. And then you'll have goals that are the results of accomplishing the main goal. So let's say your main goal was you wanted to make $100,000 a year from your business. One of the supporting goals may be to learn how to do IG ads, might be to hire some staff, right? Support goals are things that will actually help you accomplish the main goal. And maybe a result goal would be BMW, a new watch, hotter girlfriend. This way, all of your focus is on one thing, right? So these goals support the one thing, and these goals are a result of the one thing. But now everything is aligned. However, this can actually be a little deeper. Some of the support goals should be like an offensive goal, meaning Google Ads. All right, these are things that you're gonna go out and do to accomplish the goals. Then you need defensive goal. And these are things that you have to do to make sure this shit doesn't go wrong. For example, let's say you need to quit your job to start this business that's gonna make this money. So you might wanna have 6 months of savings. So you need the offensive goals, things when you're going after it, actually accomplishing. And then you need defensive goals, things that will prevent collapse. Then on the result side of the equation, you can have altruistic goals. These are things you want to do for other people. Maybe you want to give to your church. Then you can have selfish goals. This would be the new watch, stuff you want to do just for you. And it's good to have both. Support goals, offense and defense, result goals, altruistic and selfish. But the key is to have one main goal that you're focused on. Don't try to do a bunch of shit at once because you'll accomplish nothing fast. And there's a big reason why this is important. It's because most people, they have a goal, but then they have another goal, then a third goal, and then a fourth goal. And this is how you go nowhere fast. But if you have one main goal, the same amount of effort, you go significantly farther, right? This is what you want to do. This is what you want to avoid at all costs. The next thing stopping people from accomplishing their goals, they let fear prevent them from moving forward. This is a really big deal. I think it really keeps a lot of people in a self-imposed bondage. Here's the thing, everybody has fear. Everybody's scared. Fear is a perfectly normal response when you're trying to do or accomplish something that you've never accomplished before. The truth is there's really two types of people. Both of these people have goals they want to accomplish. And between them and their goals is fear. That's for both people. Now, the average person, they see that fear and it prevents them from moving forward. So they stay in this prison made of their own fears for life and they never grow, they never go outside of it. But then you have the people who have the same fear. They refuse to let that fear keep them in bondage because they behave courageously. It's not confidence, it's courage. You actually need fear to be courageous. Courage is acting in spite of your fears. It's not the lack of fear. The beauty of fear is when you feel it. Those are the only times you have the opportunity to be courageous. You have to become more courageous. And how do you do that? I wish there was something I can draw to make it easier for you. The truth is you have to get in the habit of facing your fears. So anytime you see something you're afraid to do, you have to do it because you'll build a habit. The problem is habits can work in either direction. See something you want, but you're afraid to go after it. That's building a habit too. You actually build the habit of becoming a bitch. So anytime you ever want to accomplish something and there's some fear standing in the way, that should be the signal to know you have to do it. So you don't continue to build bitch ass habits that have been keeping you where you are right now. The next thing that stops people from accomplishing their goals is not having a plan, not having a solid game plan. I'm telling you, nothing good happens on accident. The default outcome for anything left to its own devices is failure. Think about if you have a garden or a lawn. What happens if you don't attend to it every day, right? You're gonna get weeds, grass gonna be growing all crazy, neighbors are gonna complain because you're fucking up the property values. Nothing good happens on accident. Every time I say that, some motherfucker says, oh, I was an accident. My parents said I was an accident and I'm good. I was like, no, motherfucker. Your parents were panicking when they found out your goofy ass was coming. And they made the best out of it, but they weren't sitting around saying, oh, this is a great thing. It was a fucking accident, man. But they made the best out of it. Maybe. Truth is, they were probably better off without it. So, you gotta have a plan for your goal. You're not gonna accomplish anything big on accident. How do you do that? So your plan should look something like this. You're gonna write out all the tasks that need to be accomplished for you to hit your goals. Now, there's gonna be two types of tasks. One-time tasks, these are things that you do once. Then you're gonna have recurring tasks. All right, these are things that are gonna happen over and over again. For example, if you're trying to accomplish a fitness goal, a one-time task may be join gym. Recurring task, something you're gonna have to do over and over again, is track macros. So you're gonna write out all your one-time tasks and all your recurring tasks. And then the next step, this is really important, is you wanna put deadlines for every step. When I say deadlines, after you write all the steps, you wanna write out the date it's supposed to be accomplished. And you're gonna do that for all of your one-time tasks. And with your recurring tasks, you want to write down, is it gonna be a daily thing or a weekly thing or a monthly thing, bi-weekly, whatever it is. One-time tasks are gonna have deadlines. The recurring tasks are gonna have a schedule. And that brings us to the next thing that's preventing you from accomplishing your goals. It's not using your fucking calendar. I had everything my whole life in Google Calendar. And my plans and goals are in there too. So when I put the deadline for each step, it's in Google Calendar, not only the day, but also the time I'm going to do it. And my recurring tasks are in there as well, right? So let's say one of my recurring tasks is to work out. It's scheduled on my calendar every day and the time I'm going to do it. I do that for all of my recurring tasks and all of my one-time tasks. And I follow the calendar religiously. I live out of Google Calendar. I know exactly when I'm going to sleep, when I'm going to wake up. I have time with my girlfriend, time with my son. Everything that's important to me is in Google Calendar. Very important. Bruce Lee said, if you love life, don't waste time, because time is what life is made of. If you are not planning out your time, then you're just fucking wasting it. You guys waste a significant amount of time, almost all of you. And I want to show you exactly how much time you're wasting. Get a piece of paper right now. Top of this piece of paper, you're going to write 168. That's how many hours there are in every week, 168 hours. Now, I want you to write out how much time do you spend at work or school, right? How much time is that? How much time you spend sleeping each week, right? On average. How much time you spend working out each week on average? And how much time you spend with your family or spouse. These are the only 4 things you have to do. Everything else is optional. Of course, yeah, you got to shit, shower, cook food, but how long does that shit really take? It's not taking up a significant amount of time. So you're going to add all this up, and what's the number? Subtract that from 168. How much is left? Matter of fact, leave it in the comment how many hours you had left, and you'll see how much time you're wasting. The only way to get around this is to actually plan your time in the calendar. Otherwise, you continue to waste all this fucking time. Because 168 minus this equals the time that you're going to spend accomplishing your goals. And the calendar is the only way to get a hold of that. I'm telling you, this is a key. This is a cheat code. There's no way I'd be where I am without planning out every minute of every day. There's no way I'd accomplish fucking anything. And if you haven't accomplished your goals, this is one of the biggest reasons why you have. The next thing that's holding you back from accomplishing your goals, and this is a big one, is caring about what other people think. This is a big deal for a lot of people. Now, not necessarily for me. For whatever reason, that part of my brain doesn't work. The part where I give a fuck about your feelings or thoughts, especially as they pertain to me. But I know it's something that really affects a large portion of the population. And for good reason, right? For most of human history, we spent time in tribes of 100 to 200 people. And if you were ostracized from the tribe, you'd have to go out and fend for yourself, probably die in the wilderness from creatures or animals or other tribes. So humans learn to simulate and fit in with the tribe. And we are descendants of people who had to learn that skill to survive. So it's really in our DNA. However, that doesn't serve us in the modern age. Because of the internet and the way the world is connected, you're going to encounter way more than 200 people in your lifetime. So it's critical that you resist your natural inclination to give a fuck what people think. And one thing that kind of helps me with that, just look at the stats of the average American. I'll give you 2 right now. The average American is about 17 pounds overweight. The average American has less than $1,000 in their bank account. The average American is a fat loser. How the fuck am I gonna be out here caring what some fat loser thinks about anything, least of all what he thinks of me? And that kind of helps me get over the fear of judgment, because look who's judging me, a fat ass broke motherfucker. Who gives a shit? Maybe that'll help you, maybe it won't. But no matter what, you have to get over this fear of judgment. You really have to get over it, because it holds so many people back, so many people who are talented and have so much potential from actually fulfilling their potential and reaching it. And it's a real shame. It's a real tragedy. The next thing holding you back from accomplishing your goals is being around negative people. Negativity and cynicism, doubt. People who are negative, who are cynics, their beliefs and their thoughts, they're self-fulfilling, right? And if you're listening to this all the time, whether it's about you or not, it's going to have an impact on you, because it's a part of your brain called the reticular activation system. This is a part of your brain that filters out your environment, because there's so many things going on around you at all times, right? So many colors, sounds, textures. Things are happening all the time, but you don't notice everything. You're only going to notice the things that your brain chooses to focus on. For example, we've all had this happen before. Your friend gets a new car, and it will happen. You start seeing that new car everywhere, right? That car was already there. It was already around you all the time, but your brain was ignoring it. But once it was activated in your reticular activation system, then you started to notice it. It was there the whole time. You didn't start attracting it or some shit like that. You just didn't notice it before. If your friend can bring a car to your attention and you start seeing it all the time, what happens when they're always bringing their problems to your attention? They're always complaining. What happens if they're being cynical all the time, always bringing to your attention why things won't work? You're going to start seeing that all the time too, right? And I don't mean that you should be uncompassionate, right? If they're bringing their problem to you and they're asking for solution, that's good. That's helpful. You should help them. But if they're just complaining and crying like a little hoe, then that negativity is going to seep into your life and you're just going to start seeing more things to be negative about. The same way when your friend gets a car, you're just going to start seeing that car all the time. So you want to be around people who are looking at the positive thing, who are talking about the things that excite them, the goals they're trying to accomplish, who are encouraging you to accomplish your goals and giving you reasons why you should succeed. Because then you'll start seeing that the same way you started seeing the car when they bought the new car. If you have negative people in your life, just cut them off. If they're family members, cut them off. It doesn't matter. Don't give a fuck. I had an uncle who was talking some shit to me when I first started my business. And I was like, you know what? I'm not fucking with this dude no more. And then he died. I didn't go to his funeral, nothing, man. Fuck him. The next thing that's holding you back from accomplishing your goals, distractions. Sometimes it's the little distractions like Instagram, social media, that's taking up all your time and monopolizing your focus, right? Or it's a bigger distraction. Like you might have a business idea and you start moving towards that, but then someone tells you about this other business idea that you can start and you see this shiny object and you want to go after that as opposed to just sticking to your plan. I have people coming up to me all the time trying to get me to promote their stuff or trying to get me to do a joint venture thing with them or something. And it would probably make me some money for sure. But remember, we talked about having one goal, one main goal. So I say no to almost everything because I know if I do the one thing good enough, I won't need nothing else. Jordan was so good at basketball, he didn't have to do a whole bunch of other shit. No one knows how good Jordan can spell or how good he is at mathematics, right? We don't know, we don't care, because he was the best at one thing. What you'll notice is you won't need those things. They won't even be important because you're doing so well from the one thing. You gotta really block all that bullshit out and just keep your head down and focus and accomplish your goal. And that brings us to the 10th thing that's holding you back from accomplishing your goals, and is lack of discipline. Now, discipline is different than motivation. Motivation is like an emotion, but emotions are flimsy. They're sporadic. It can change at a moment's notice. Discipline means you do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, whether you feel like it or not. Discipline doesn't even take your emotions into account. Whether you're motivated or not, you still do it if you're disciplined. If you're sad or you're tired or you don't feel like it, you still do the thing if you're disciplined. And this is kind of a bigger topic than I have time for in the remainder of this video. I have a whole nother video about discipline, the truths of discipline, how you can get more of it and accomplish your goals. Go ahead and click that link somewhere around here and watch that video right now, because it's probably the most important thing you'll ever need.